I'm on a quest to have a second healthy baby, and that means I'm not putting any toxins, any fragrances in my body, and that's where Caraway Home cookware and their Tupperware come into play. Right now, when you use my code TSFS at carawayhome.com, you get 10% off. I'm sure you're like, Sarah, what are you talking about? Well, Caraway products are non-toxic. That means they have no PFAs, PTFEs, those forever chemicals that are extremely hard to pronounce. And I just ordered their storage containers in navy. Oh, and hello, they don't have any toxic chemicals either. Don't believe me? Go and read their 5-star reviews. Over 65,000 people have rated them 5 stars. Visit carawayhome.com/TSFS to take advantage of this limited time offer for 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive to Sarah Fraser Show listeners, so support my show and visit carawayhome.com/TSFS or use code TSFS at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern.
Not a gas pod. Hey, Frage, every day she'll make you say, oh my God. She got the scoop on pop culture news, so grab a drink. It ain't what you think. It's Sarah and the crew.
Okay, you guys, I'm excited about today's guest because who doesn't love them some 90 Day Fiancé? Hell yes, okay? They've got 90 days to get engaged. I love all of our foreign friends. You know, I mean, Colty and his mom, fan favorites. I still really need to sign up for his OnlyFans, by the way. I really want to see that dick. Okay, look. Today I have on Rebecca Parrott from the current season of 90 Day Fiancé. She and Zied are together. You've probably seen all the drama at the airport with her kids, like with her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend and how they came after him. Rebecca dishes all. Okay, y'all. She was a private investigator in another life. She talks about that and the kind of scariest private investigating situation she was in that crossed over to some big, I guess, names that you would know in Atlanta. So we'll discuss that. Also, why she says Zied's parents can never find out that she's bisexual. Yeah, we go into that, and she reveals it all on my podcast and YouTube channel. All right, here's Rebecca Parrott from 90 Day Fiancé. Okay, I'm super excited per usual. You guys know I'm addicted to every damn TLC show they put out. I mean, Rebecca, I need a life. I mean, honest to God. They put out too many good programs.
No, yeah, there are a lot of 90 Day Fiancé spinoffs and things like that, but I think it's great. It gives you so much coverage of all the couples.
And did you ever get into any of their other shows? Like I was addicted to I Love a Mama's Boy. Did you watch that this year?
The Mama's Boy. I have watched a few of those things. Yeah, those are crazy.
Oh, I mean, I'm so obsessed. My husband and I are into all of them. 1,000-Pound Sisters. I mean, I can't even, anyway.
Yes.
I need a job.
Those are crazy. Yeah, I try not to throw stones, those who live in glass houses. But yeah, some of those people are crazy.
Well, I get paid to talk shit, so I love to talk about everybody. Look,
right.
I'm honored. So season 8 of 90 Day Fiancé is underway on TLC. You all are Uber fans. Rebecca is here. Is it Rebecca Parrott? Am I saying it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Her last name, obviously engaged to Zied, and you have become a runaway fan favorite on this show, good and bad.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about all the attention?
I mean, at this point, we are we're getting used to it. It's good. We love the support. I get a lot of fans that reach out to me and they're like, oh my gosh, how do you deal with all the negative, posts and the trolls? Well, what people don't realize is that, this isn't our first season. We've been around a little bit. And for all of the negative messages and posts and comments that we get 10 times that in support. We're very fortunate because, the social media gods can go either way. You never know. And it has nothing to do with anything you do or say. It just spirals wherever it shall go. So we've been very fortunate.
Well, you also seem to handle it very well. Because, of course, the latest controversy is in an episode where Tiffany and Micah essentially confront you about Zied and they're not very happy about him. And you came on and you genuinely looked, had you been crying? You looked, or just a long day at work?
No. I'm actually taking time off from work right now. I haven't been working for a little bit. No, well, first of all, I lost my contacts. I've had to order more. I can't find them anywhere. So I'm wearing glasses, which affects everything I do, from my makeup to being able to do anything. So I feel like I'm not I don't know. But no, I hadn't been crying. I was just, so Zied and we can handle these things. We know that anything that's negative or positive blows over and it's okay. And by the end of the season, everything is generally okay. But when it comes to my kids, it's different. And I tried to explain to them, look, it's going to blow over. Don't worry about it. But she sent me a couple of messages that kind of broke my heart, just that, she was kind of caught up in it and was reading too much. And so I said, well, would it help if I maybe made a video? I said, I think it's only going to make it worse, but we never know. So I only did that for Tiffany. It hurt my heart that she was upset.
Yeah. Well, did it help? I thought it was very genuine. Just asking people to see out the season to understand the full picture. So did it help?
Yeah. I don't know. The bad thing about it was, the same exact comments that made me make the video were being made on that video. So I was like, it's not helping. But ultimately, my daughter did eventually start getting a bunch of positive messages and support. And so I feel like, it probably did a little bit. So I appreciate anyone who sent my daughter a positive message. Thank you.
What do you say to, I've read a lot that people feel like your daughter, Micah, your kids really, really boss you around. Like they really tell you what to do. Do you feel like that's an accurate portrayal?
It is to a certain extent, but there's a reason for that. Not Micah, but Tiffany definitely. So Tiffany and I have had a very tumultuous relationship. Without getting into too much private details, but when her father and I were married for 15 years, when we divorced, she was the youngest one. She was like 7 years old, I think. And she kind of got washed up in it the most. She was affected by my ex and his bad mouth of me and things like that. So she grew up with a tainted view of who I was based on my ex. And I didn't even know that for the longest time. She, of course, wasn't coming up to me and saying, Dad said you couldn't pay your rent and you're being evicted, when that was not happening. Or, Dad was saying this or Dad was saying that, whatever. Once we sat down and had a talk, we had a real connection for the first time. And I'll just be honest with you, I have been afraid to lose that connection. And so there is a very big part of me that allows her to get, to be able to say and do things that maybe some normal, healthier relationships wouldn't get away with. But by the same token, I also know that from where she's coming from, she's right. Like everything that she was doing, should I have put my foot down? Probably. But there's also production involved. It's not just the people that you see on TV.
Sure. Yeah. A lot goes into it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this, because I think this is a great part of your story, but I know you've also gotten shit about this. You've been married 3 times prior to going into this relationship. I love this because what did you learn from past relationships, and how I think you're inspiring to other people? Because I know you get a lot of crap. People are like, oh my God, why are you trying to get married again? Yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Okay. What did you learn from past relationships, and how do you think this is different?
So, well, number one, if you get to know Zied, that's all it takes. He is a different human being. I had no intention of ever getting married again, no intention of being in another long-distance relationship again. But Zied is a very charming person. He's a very genuine person. He's very patient. And it's just that it has been the perfect storm for one of the best relationships I could have ever dreamed. What I learned from my previous marriages was what's important and what's not. And, let the little things go. That's such a small thing to say, but it's such a big thing to do. It's so hard sometimes. And, I just appreciate every day. I appreciate what he doesn't put me through. I appreciate, how patient he is.
And how did you get to this healthier place? Did you go to couples counseling? Did you get therapy personally and realize some things that, because I always think too, like I had a pattern, like in my life before I met my husband, I was always attracting actually older men. And, you know, it was because my father had passed away in high school. I think I had daddy issues.
Oh, yeah.
And it never worked. You know, I was almost engaged to a guy who was 15 years older. Thankfully, that didn't work. But I really had to learn, like, what I was doing wrong.
Right.
So how did you get to that place? Did you do some therapy or just like soul searching?
I did do therapy at one point. I feel like it, you know, even healthy, you know, people that feel like they have no issues, everyone can benefit from therapy. So definitely did that. The other thing that I did though was recognize that I was not a victim in every single one of these situations. A marriage is 50-50 regardless. And so whether it was, you know, the way that I was attracting the wrong kind of relationships, or God help me if it would have been a normal, healthy relationship, but maybe something that I was doing was messing it up. There's all kinds of things. So it just took me recognizing that that no matter what relationship you're in, you have to put in the work. You have to be, you know, you have to be willing to recognize your part in everything.
I love the dynamic between you and Zied too, because he's very, you know, he's Muslim. He's very conservative, you know, so how did you guys work through that? Did he have a problem with your prior marriages?
I mean, of course he wishes that was not part of my history. Yeah. I mean, that would be, I wish it wasn't part of my history, to be honest with you, but
sure.
Ultimately Zied and I were attracted to each other because of who we are, and whatever brought both of us into this relationship, we're just grateful that we're in where we are. We're grateful for each other. And so, you know, he just says whatever happened, you know, it's not an issue.
I love that and you've also been open to some extent about your sexuality, that you've been with women before, which I think is so great. I mean, I want more of that storyline, you know. I wish we'd done a 90-day fiancé with you with a woman prior to Zied, you know, but I mean, right. Obviously, but how is he, you know, are you guys good about that, or you don't talk about it much? Because I also read you don't like labels. So like, do you label yourself bisexual, or no, you're just like, you don't like a label?
No, I mean, I don't think that there's any reason to label me. I was in a very, very unhealthy place in my first marriage when that whole thing took place. And I think I was just looking for some validation, and this person was giving it to me. It wouldn't have mattered if it was a male or a female. And, you know, it wasn't something that ultimately I would ever seek out. That doesn't mean that I'm against it by any means. You know, it's just not, I wasn't seeking it out with, you know, a relationship with a woman when I met this person. So, it just kind of happened, and that's fine. And, you know, Zied was not angry about my having that relationship. What he was angry about was that I said it to him on the show. Because of the fact that if his parents were to find out, then it could potentially very likely be a situation where his family would be like, okay, it's either us or you. And
wait, Rebecca, still? Are you worried about if they watch the show, or
they don't? So you also have to understand, you know, a lot of people are like, that doesn't make any sense. He's on TV. Of course his family. No. So he has been in acting since he was 9 years old. He was a famous, well-known, not famous, but very well-known actor in Tunisia since he was, I think, 9. He's been in music videos, TV shows, series, movies, commercials, all kinds of stuff. So his family is used to seeing this. It's not a novelty for him to have ended up on TV in America. So, and they don't watch the show. So.
Oh my God!
And even if they did, they don't speak any English whatsoever. His father speaks Arabic and French, and his mother only speaks Arabic.
Okay,
so
I'll put a block on this video for Tunisians. So no one can.
It's fine. I feel like at this point we're probably past that, but who knows? Like, I don't know.
I was going to ask you about his acting career. Is he doing any acting in America? Does he want to pursue that?
We never talked about it. It wasn't, it's not why he's on the show. It's not something that, it's not the reason he's coming to America. he mentioned it at one point after he was here, or maybe right before he got here or something, when we were discussing what he was going to do. And I said, well, Atlanta is a huge hub right now for acting. Tyler Perry Studios is here. Pinewood Studios is here, which is where I filmed a couple of movies when I was an extra. And so we have talked about him doing acting. He would love that. His favorite actors are Jason Statham. He gets on to me about how I say that. that genre. He likes the fight movies and typical,
I know. He's
like
a Tunisian stud. He could be over here in Tyler Perry's films, I want to see him pursue some acting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to do that. We're still working on getting his work permit. Yeah, that was a yogurt commercial, believe it or not.
I love it. Oh my God.
Yeah. That was a music video from when it was
it looks great.
It was about Putin, where the Tunisians were making fun of Putin.
Oh God! Well, thank God he's over here. Lord knows what could happen with that. Oh my Lord!
He looks so funny there. He looks different. Oh, I love this. This was in a TV series that he did. You can see this on YouTube right now somewhere. I forget the name of this.
So
series,
handsome.
I know. I asked him if he still had the outfit.
He looks great. Yeah, you two need to be role playing in that. I love it.
Lock me up.
Yes, all of it. We want to see that episode as well. 90 Day X-rated. We need to see that. Okay, well, but that is what I want to talk to you about. You're absolutely stunning. You're gorgeous. And you recently had lipo. I wanted to know, was that like a choice because of out of like health and you just wanted to look good? Or do you feel pressure as being the older one in the relationship with someone younger?
No, absolutely not. In fact, Zied was 100% against it. He said there's no reason to do that. I don't understand why you would want to. And he was worried that I would lose too much weight. He loves my curves. So it had nothing. I've had a lot of people, so many negative comments about, well, of course she's going to get that. She's in a relationship with someone half their age. But no, absolutely not. I did it because I kept seeing these Sonobello commercials. And I was like, you know what? I have had 3 children. I'm going to be 50 in less than a month. If I'm going to do something like this, I need to hurry up and get it done. And it also has nothing to do with me being on TV because
you hear that too.
I don't care what people say. Yeah. I don't care what people say if I'm overweight or, if I were too skinny, they would say I'm too skinny. If, there's no matter what, people are going to talk about you. So this was just for me. I just wanted to look better.
Oh, girl, you look amazing. And
Thank
look,
you.
We're pro plastic surgery on this show. Every plastic surgeon we call, hey, do you want to advertise with us? We love it. We're like,
Right.
When can we get the fillers? Do you want to do anything else? Do you want to, because I'm pregnant now currently, so I can't do anything.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's our first child. I'm so excited. He's due in April, like 1st of April. But I can't wait to do like a mommy makeover because my tits are already down at my belly button. So I'm like, I've had it, but will you do anything else? You want to get lip fillers? You want anything else?
In a perfect world, unfortunately, me using all the filters for as long as I have, there's a filter that does something with my nose that if I could get that done, it would be perfect, but I won't. I will not do it. I love my nose. It's a cute little button nose. I'm not going to do that. If I ever did anything else, I think I would like to get lip fillers, but I don't have any actual plans to do it. A lot of the women that go on this show, they end up
Yes.
They end up with all this stuff.
Oh my God.
Like Larissa, but I think Larissa looks amazing.
Well, you know what?
I'm a little worried about her.
I know. She does look amazing now. Like after I think I don't know, maybe everything's set in or whatever. She looks really great, but I'm worried about her too because I feel like that is just an addiction. Like it's going to continue until it's just, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Larissa and I are actually friends. I love her to death. And I think she looks amazing. And I am not anyone to ever shame a woman for going out and getting plastic surgery. Do it. If that's what you want to do, do it. I don't care. So, if I
know.
just think she's amazing.
I am too. I think it's just always that fine line of, are you trying to, there's things that you do to look great and feel good about yourself. And then it almost becomes like, wow, is this almost like an addiction like alcohol or food where you really have lost yourself, in doing
Yeah.
it. Who are some of your other favorite couples? Because you just bringing up Colt. I love Colt. Reminds me of Colty and all the drama. Who's some other favorite 90 Day Fiancé couples of yours? And I'm sure you're friends with probably a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Darcy, I freaking love her.
Yes.
She's just an absolute angel on earth. She catches so much crap, but she is, we've met several times. She is a beautiful person. She has an amazingly big heart, and I just love her to death. David and Annie, of course, the mom and dad of 90 Day Fiancé, they're just, I have a feeling that they probably do the same thing with every single couple right when the show, either right before it comes out or whatever. They reached out to me and, they told Zied because at the time he was not good with English, but they told me to tell Zied the same thing. This is what you should do, and watch out for this, watch out for that person. This person's a good one, whatever. So love David and Annie. On the show that we're on right now, my favorites are Stephanie. I freaking love her. I think she is, she's portrayed as being a little on the crazy side, but I think the world needs more people like her. I think she's amazing.
That.
She's strong. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's independent, and more power to her. I think she's amazing.
This season is really good. I also wanted to ask you about, because people give you shit about, welcome to being on TV, but you have a business, Gypsy and Jagger. Your earrings are gorgeous. Your jewelry's so fun, but people gave you so much crap about that lip logo, which looks similar to.
Oh, yeah.
But isn't that insane? Because to me, I go on all these sites and everybody is using a knockoff of that. Were you so annoyed? I would have, I think you do very well. I would tell all these people to fuck themselves. And then I saw that you ended up kind of changing it because you just didn't even want to deal with the BS.
Well, no, we actually changed. Well, no, yeah. You know what? We did change it for partially because of that reason. But what people, and I kept trying, in the beginning, I was trying to explain to them that this was a free use logo. I am not an idiot. I'm on a TV show. If there's any reason that someone could come after me, they're going to do it. So I don't go into something and just be like, well, I'm some, soccer mom that's in her basement making up some business or something. Like, I have to be careful with what I do, both legally, ethically, the whole thing. That was a free use logo. That was, it's not the exact same thing. You go to the patent, what is it? The patent trade search.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trademark search option or something. I forget what it is. But anyway, so there's a website you can go to and you can type in lip logo or, lips and tongue logo, and it will pop up everything that is available for you to use. And if it's not, then there's a big old huge, this is trademarked. You can't use it.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous that people. I see that lip everywhere. I'm like, you guys, really?
It's on one of the shirts that we sell.
I know. That was like making a mountain out of nothing. But I do love the fact, I'm obsessed with the fact that you were a private investigator. Tell me, what was the funnest case you got to work on? And I know some private investigator friends. They always say it's really boring and stakeouts are the worst because nothing happens. Is that true? It sounds glamorous, but it really sucks, right?
So I can sum up being a private investigator. You are so excited. You're like, oh my God, I get paid to watch people and catch cheaters and do all of that. Then you get into it and you do surveillance on a case and you are literally stuck in your car for 12 hours. You cannot get out. Don't forget about going to the bathroom unless it's in a big gulp cup. You eat out of, snacks, and you start to question. You do 10 of these cases like this, and it's completely mind-numbingly boring. And you think, why am I doing this? This is why no one does it. This is ridiculous. And then you get the case where you catch them and you are literally with your Zoom photo lens, catching somebody in the act of having sex. And you're like, oh yeah, that's why I do this.
Oh my God.
Or you get to chase somebody in traffic to try to stay up with them and do surveillance to catch where they're going. Or my favorite part of it, believe it or not, was sneaking into, wherever somebody is parked. They're supposed to be on public property to do this, by the way. But you're sneaking in at some point, whether it's broad daylight or 2:00 in the morning, and hiding under their car and putting a GPS under it. And I've been busted a couple of times. I got shot at once while I was doing it. I've had to throw my lunch at a couple of dogs while I was doing it to keep from getting eaten up. It was, your heart is right here
Yeah.
every single time. And you don't have the option. 90% of the time, you're not going to get a second chance to do it. So you have to shove down the fear of, what the fuck am I doing? You cannot do this. Like, you're going to get killed. The dog is going to get you. The person's going to catch you. You don't have a choice. You're being paid to do it. You have to do it.
Oh
So
my
you do it.
God. Was this all in Georgia? Were these all like Georgia
Yeah.
cases? Oh my gosh. Okay. So what was the craziest one? Did someone hire you to was it catching a cheater? Were you investigating a murderer? Like, what was like the craziest case?
So I can't give too many details, but I did have a case where it was a simple, what do they call it, child custody case, where the husband was trying to get dirt on the wife. And I used to do those all the time, one way or the other. And this case got to the point where I ended up being brought into the local, what I forget if it was the sheriff's department or whatever, but anyway, the DEA was in there, and I got signed in as an what do they call, undercover informant? Like, I had to, like, the only person in the entire state that knew that I was doing this were two undercover cops. They had to put my information into a file and lock it into a special safe somewhere so that no one would know that I was doing it, because it turned out that the woman and her husband, her new husband, were involved in drug deals.
I was going to say, there's something obviously more going on than a custody. They were doing
Yes,
something.
and it actually involved some of the, how do I say this? It involved some local sports teams in Atlanta.
Ooh.
It was big. But
You've made
I
my
got in
night.
over my head at one point. Yeah, and I decided that right before the meeting where I was supposed to offer them drugs, I was like, God, I just don't think I can do this. I just don't.
Oh my
My
God.
kids were worried about me, and so I didn't do it.
I don't blame you. Yeah, that was like some heavy shit. I would have been like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not trained to be like an undercover a drug dealer. Thanks. Thanks. Okay, how are you and Zied now? How's everything going? How do your kids like him? Is the relationship getting better?
So Zied and I are doing 100%. We are amazing.
Oh,
It's-
love. You deserve it, girl, after everything you've been through. And yes.
You are not wrong.
Yeah, no, you
Kissed
can
enough
tell.
frogs.
You've lived a life. You deserve it.
Yeah. He is amazing.
And your kid, like,
Yes.
is everybody blending? Because I think sometimes it's hard, like blending a family and, trusting again. And obviously they're
Yeah.
very skeptical given your past relationships. So are things coming around?
Yes. So from the get-go, my son, Brandon, and his girlfriend, Kirsten, they have been 100% supportive. Now, of course, in the very, very beginning, my son was like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Don't
Right.
do this, whatever. But I kept talking to him. I kept showing him examples of why I love Zied so much and things that he was doing. And, Zied would go out of his way before he got here to reach out to my kids on social media and just say, hey, hope you're having a great day. Or if it was their birthday, or if they, posted something that was serious
Wow.
or whatever. And he never told me about it. I stumbled across them. So he wasn't doing it for brownie points to me or, whatever. And so really early on, Brandon and his girlfriend, Kirsten, they were totally on board. And their first meeting went amazing. And so that was really good. But yeah, so Tiffany, this past Father's Day, Tiffany actually wanted to give him a Father's Day card and be like, I think she calls him stepdaddy or daddy or something like that.
Oh,
And it's
really?
hilarious and sweet and cute. And yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
are.
awesome.
If you meet Zied, you can't help it. You're overwhelmed by his charm.
Well, I'm glad to see that because, and thank you. I'm glad you did that video because then people need to hang in there to see the end result that you all are making a family together. Last question for you. What would be your dream sort of next step? Would you write a book? I mean, because you have lived a lot as a woman, and I love your story. I'm sure you don't love it, but with the custody battle that you had with your own ex, and then nearly going to jail, paying back custody. I mean, that doesn't always happen for a woman. So you have a lot of stories to tell. Would it be a book? Is it another TV show? Any interest in that?
I mean, I'm always going to be open to anything that someone would put in front of me. I'm not interested in becoming a movie star or an actress or anything like that. I've been an actress a teeny tiny bit, and I had the experience of working on movie sets just as extras, and I cannot stand for somebody to tell me how to feel and what to do all the time. I just don't like it. So,
I know. And movie sets are boring. They're so long. You're there all day. It's like, oh.
Yes. And you have to hear the same exact things being said for 10 hours. And it's like, oh my God, But I used to be a literary agent years and years and years ago. I was in my 20s. And I say that loosely because really you have to be in New York to do that. But technically, I was a literary agent. I worked for an agency in Atlanta, and I've always been fascinated by writing. I've ghostwritten a few books with people and things like that. So I would consider writing a book. I've thought about it.
You need to. I mean, I think so many women would benefit. You could tell so much of your story, how you've overcome, how you have confidence, how you were, what you saw in Zied, and like you guys could give relationship advice. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And I love all the careers you've had. Any other careers? I mean, I feel like you've had like...
I know. So I used to drag race cars. I'm a motorcycle mechanic, a chef, a private investigator, a literary agent, a mom. I think that's, really? I'm sure I'm forgetting something.
I know. I figured down in Georgia, I was like, I wonder if she ever worked at a chicken farm. And it seems like your career is like a random one where you're like, yeah. And then I used to behead chickens and, it's like.
Right. I mean, you never know.
Right. I skinned crocodiles for shoes. I was like, she's got to have another job that's just like, so I worked for Joe Exotic. Like I figured you'd have some. Well, Rebecca, you're a treat. We love watching you on this season. I can't wait to see what other interesting drama unfolds and what is in store for you in Zied's future. What do you want to promote? You want to promote your Insta? I mean, you have hundreds of thousands of followers on IG. Your business. What can you promote, Rebecca?
No, I mean, we're good. Yeah, I mean, I would love for people to go to my website and the Gypsy and Jagger thing if they want to go shopping. But other than that, I'm good.
Okay, I love it. Well, cheers to you guys and congrats on all the love and success. You deserve it.
You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rebecca.